What if the most profound spiritual connection you'll ever feel happens far from any steeple or stained glass? My friends, I need you to truly listen tonight, not with the ears you were born with, but with the soul you were gifted. There is a mark upon your life, a divine purpose etched into your very being long before you took your first breath. You are not ordinary. You are selected. And when the divine selects a person, they are drawn apart. They are set aside. They are made sacred. Not by ceremony, not by human rules, but by the consuming fire of a higher spirit. Let me share a truth with you that will unsettle your routine and awaken your core. The selected of the divine are not always found in orderly rows. They don't always pass through ornate doorways. They don't always find solace in harmonious hymns. Their path is far more demanding, far more solitary, because the purpose on their life is not to merge with the multitude, but to journey in singular company with the eternal. This message is not for the masses. It is not for those satisfied with spiritual habits. It is not for those seeking an uplifting talk and gentle affirmation. This is for those who have been summoned by the divine, misinterpreted by people, turned away by fellowships, and yet still ignited by a celestial flame. This is for those at home, asking, "Why do I feel like an outsider? Why is my solitude in a sacred space deeper than anywhere else?" Let me tell you, because you were never made to trail the many, you were made to track the light. The divine never required a structure to converse with its creation. Did it speak to Moses in a grand temple? No, it spoke from a flickering flame in the barren land. Did it call Elijah through the official in the city? No, it called him through a gentle whisper on the high peak. Did the Messiah come to construct great buildings, or did he declare, "Tear down this sanctuary and I will rebuild it in 3 days"? He spoke of his own being. The real assembly is not built by stone and wood, but by spirit and reality. Some of you have been journeying, looking for a place to call home. You've entered sacred spaces and felt like a visitor. You've sat in seats and departed more hollow than when you arrived. You've heard teachings, but your inner self remained parched. Do you know the reason? Because humanity cannot nourish what the divine itself has stirred. Only the divine can satiate the longing of the selected. Only the divine can satisfy the yearning of the summoned. The assembly has become cozy. The assembly has become a business. Schedules have supplanted revelation. Shows have replaced the sacred touch. But those who are selected, they don't accept artificial fog and spectacle. They ache for the celestial fire. They crave the pure, unrefined reality of the divine's message. They don't mind if it causes discomfort. They care that it brings transformation. They don't require a building. They require the essence. They don't desire a system. They desire a connection. Do you believe Noah had a regular assembly? He had a mission. Do you believe John the Baptist wore fine vestments and spoke from a platform? He wore rough cloth and proclaimed in the wild places. Do you believe the seers were welcomed in the holy house? No, they were rejected beyond the walls. The divine selected are not at ease. They are challenging. They are not adored. They are touched by the sacred. They are not trailed by multitudes. They are trailed by the divine. Some of you hearing this, your spirit is stirring, because you recognize in your deepest part, this is your narrative. You attempted the assemblies. You attempted to assimilate. You attempted to listen passively and receive the simplified message. But something within you declared, this is not complete. This is not the entire reality. That is the Spirit of the divine pulling you away. That is the voice of the eternal murmuring, ascend further, come apart with me. Oh, my friend, there is a cost to being selected. You will be misjudged. You will be discussed. They will claim you are defiant. They will claim you are arrogant. But listen, The Messiah didn't come to conform. He came to challenge the establishment. He didn't come to be admired. He came to make the ultimate sacrifice. And if you are truly His, you will bear the same burden. You will endure the same criticism, but you will also move in the same resurrection force. Let me address the lonely tonight. Let me address the separated. Let me address the one who feels ostracized in the community of faith. You are not deserted. You are concealed. You are not forgotten. You are being shaped. The divine didn't eject you. It drew you away. It is separating you, readying you, forming you, purifying you, because there is a message in your heart that the structured assembly cannot hold. There is a force on your life that a weekly gathering cannot describe. Some of you are truth-tellers in plain clothes. Some of you are prayer warriors in private. Some of you are fighters who have been mourning. But your mourning has nurtured the beginnings of your calling. Your quiet has honed your insight. Your refusal has prepared you for profound understanding. Do not condemn the barren place. It's where the divine prepares its champions. You don't need a building to house your spirit. You don't require a choir to offer praise. You don't require a teacher to tell you the divine loves you. You don't require a structure to know you are redeemed. If the divine is with you in your living space becomes a holy ground. If the divine speaks to you in your private room becomes a consecrated space. You are the sanctuary. You are the assembly. And wherever you journey, you carry awakening with you. The adversary wishes to condemn you into quiet. He wishes to pressure you into compliance. He wishes you to believe you have fallen away just because you departed a structure. But the sacred spirit is not limited by architecture. And where the spirit of the eternal is, there is freedom, there is truth, there is profound change. There is a falsehood moving through the world, dressed in religious robes, carried on the words of polished speakers and planned talks. But the spirit of the eternal is raising an alarm, not in the structures made by hands, but in the hearts that burn for it. Can you perceive it? It is the call of the heavens summoning the selected out of contentment, out of imitation, out of the orchestrated reverence of humanity. The divine is elevating a remaining few, not a crowd, not a trend, a remaining few. A people free of labels, purified of concession, anointed with reality. They are not worried about being well-liked. They are not influenced by praise. They do not act for an audience. They exist for the divine. These are the ones who grieve when others rejoice. These are the ones who respect the word while others ignore it. These are the ones who abstain in quiet, who plead in secret, who walk with heaven's mandate while the world ridicules them in unawareness. And hear me clearly. They don't need to visit a building to be sacred. They don't need a program to be nourished. They don't need a group to feel affirmed. They possess something greater. They possess the essence of the living divine residing inside them. When they speak, the environment changes. When they touch the unwell, restoration flows. When they state a fact, the heavens confirm it, because they walk with the divine, not people. The selected ones are not assembly shoppers. They are seekers of the throne. They don't pursue leaders. They pursue meaning. They are not amused by flashy talks or religious performance. They want the genuine, the pure, the untamed flame of the sacred spirit. They are the ones who sorrow over wrong. They are the ones who demand a turning when others demand acceptance. They are the voice proclaiming in the wild places while the multitude celebrates in delusion. Your solitude is not a prison, but a preparation. Oh, my core burns with this reality. When the divine chooses you, it spoils you for the average. You can't remain inactive in lifeless assemblies. You can't agree with diluted teachings. You can't approve of tepid speaking. You are troubled when others are content. You are transformed when others are amused, because something in you understands you were created for more than this. You were created for flame. You were created for closeness with the sovereign. You were created to bear the magnificence of the divine where others only carry habit. And yes, you will be named defiant. Yes, they will claim you are disruptive. But let me remind you, so was the Messiah, so was the apostle, so were the seers. They disrupted the old ways. They questioned the authorities. They challenged the traditions. They overturned the structures of humanity and brought down the essence of the divine. And they did it not in structures built by hands, but in the barren land, in the cell, in the public squares, in the cores of the shattered and hopeless. You believe you're isolated, but you are in the fellowship of the great cloud of witnesses. You believe you've been left by the assembly, but truly you've been chosen by the heavens. You were not refused, you were realigned. You were not quieted, you were made pure. And every sorrow you expressed outside the boundaries of human religion has been collected by the divine, kept as valuable honor, cherished as the admiration of the sincere. The divine is weary of shows. It is weary of refined systems. It is weary of assemblies that hold its name, but not its power. And so it is calling out its selected from the clamor, from the concession, from the empty admiration. It is calling them to itself, not to a group, not to a building, to itself, to its core, to its fire. And I declare to you, answer that call. Don't retreat to the past when the barren place becomes silent. Don't crave the known when the divine is guiding you into the unfamiliar. Don't try to clarify your flame to those who have never been ignited. Don't try to rationalize your separation when the divine itself is the one who drew you out. Stand upright, stand unwavering, stand liberated. You are selected. You are summoned. You are not losing out. You are stepping forward. There is a purpose you feel unique. There is a purpose you don't match the pattern. The divine didn't form you to repeat the sounds of the multitude. It formed you to resonate with the voice of the heavens. It didn't anoint you to sit quietly in seats while the world suffers. It anointed you to be a signal, a beacon in the gloom, a soldier in a period of conflict. So when they ask, why don't you attend an assembly? Let your existence be the reply. Let your flame be the witness. Let your results be your validation. Let your sacredness transform. Your love engage. Your force communicate. Because the true assembly is not where you go, it's who you are. You are the dwelling of the sacred spirit. You are the representative of the anointed. You are the instruments of the living divine, and wherever you journey, the heavens journey with you. Let some of you have been struggling with shame. You've been informed that if you don't go, you're not loyal. You've been cautioned that absence is defiance. But I came to tell you, loyalty is not about presence. Loyalty is about heeding. And if the divine told you to withdraw, if the divine told you to exit, if the divine told you to seek it alone, then your heeding is your reverence. Your quiet is your declaration. Your aloneness is your sacred space. And let us not mistake separation for rebellion. The Messiah frequently withdrew to isolated areas, not because he was avoiding people, but because he was rushing toward the source. The Spirit guided him into the barren land, not the temple. The force arrived not after the approval, but after the denying, the pleading, the yielding. And if the Son of the Divine had to walk that road, what makes us imagine we can bypass it? So let the world misjudge you. Let the assemblies murmur. Let the companions depart. If you possess the divine, you need nothing. If you possess its voice, you have guidance. If you possess its essence, you are where you belong. The selected are never by themselves. They may journey without humanity, but they journey with the divine. And soon, note my words, soon there will be a trembling, a great revealing, a holy separation. The untrue will collapse, and the genuine will emerge. The performance lights will fade, and the focus of the heavens will beam upon the concealed ones. The ones who pleaded when no one observed, the ones who grieved when no one noticed, the ones who trusted when everyone questioned. These are the ones the divine will elevate not behind a stand, but behind intention. It will use you to shatter bonds that religion couldn't reach. It will send you into areas structures could never access. It will speak through you statements that were too sharp for the gentle hearing of multitudes. You will be misjudged now, but you will be recalled later, not as one who followed fashions, but one who followed fact.